wasn't a fool, Pliskin.
Call me Snake.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Macho Movie Madness. I am your host, Brandon. Alongside me always is Chris.
Hello.
And Andrew.
Everybody relax. I'm here.
Yeah, he's here. He's here. And today we have got a special episode.
Super special.
Long overdue,
Yeah.
I might add. We are going to be discussing the one, the only John Carpenter.
Yeah, Jonathan.
All-
I call him Jonathan.
I call him Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're a little closer. It's okay.
Yeah. Jay.
Just Jay. Jay. Jay, what's up, Jay?
What's up, Jay?
So one of our favorite writers, directors of all time, mine, I think all of ours.
Yeah, everybody.
Just wow.
When Chris told me we were talking about doing a podcast a couple years ago, this is the one I was waiting for.
Yeah. This has been it.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I hate to speak for everybody, but I'm
But you're
pretty
gonna do it
sure
anyway.
every single person at this table will agree that he is the best director of all time.
The absolute best. And
No one has done more with less.
I have to say, if I may be so bold, that he is completely underrated.
Oh yeah,
He's not
yeah.
talked about enough. Like
No.
you think about directors, producers, writers, you don't think about. I mean, Carpenter's there, but everyone always brings up Spielberg, right? And I love Spielberg. He's done great. He's attached to a lot of great work.
Used to.
Well, but you always think of Cameron. You always think of Spielberg.
Yeah.
And now these days, you think of people like Michael Bay,
Abrams.
Christopher Nolan.
I almost
Yeah,
threw it in
Nolan.
my mouth.
And
Oh my God, Nolan!
You
yes.
know what? I would. Nolan is pretty fantastic.
Well, these are all for the most part, other than Michael Bay, top notch directors,
Yes.
producers. However, I just don't. And then you look at the horror genre, and John Carpenter's name always comes up in the horror genre. When you're talking about horror directors and stuff, Wes Craven's up there, Clive Barker, stuff like that. But man, I just don't think he's talked about enough all around.
Yeah.
I really don't. Like the dude, if anybody doesn't know, it seems like one of the coolest fucking guys on the planet.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yep. Yeah, and he's weird. Like
Well-
in interviews and stuff, he's not like weird eccentric wise. He's just weird as in he doesn't care.
He's very modest about.
Yeah.
He is
And
modest. He is modest.
And that's not normal for a person of his talent.
Right.
Most people that are like him are super douchey, and he just is like, whatever.
No, he's cool as shit, man.
I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna smoke weed and I'm gonna play video games. That's literally what he does.
I want to make money and fuck everybody.
Yeah.
And fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
For it. Like I don't know, like that's, and you're gonna see that as we talk about his stuff and his interviews and all that throughout the podcast. He's even since the beginning, he's been a very, very hard, tough kind of guy about his work and about his career.
Yep. Well, and like you were saying, what you thought he didn't get talked about enough.
I don't feel he does.
I would say that if it wasn't for Carpenter, then the movie industry as a whole would be completely different than what it is today.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
We wouldn't have
several genres. Several genres.
Yeah, we wouldn't have near the action movies or horror, especially horror movies. We would not have near what we have today.
No, not in the horror or slasher film at all.
Just watching movie trailers, in recent times, you hear bump bump. Throughout the entire, straight out of The Thing.
Yep.
Something like that. So yeah, he's definitely left an imprint.
Yeah.
On every.
Well, and that's the thing. We were talking about this the other day about certain directors, and you've got Cameron's tied to a lot more movies than most. Spielberg is, and then you have a few others, but Carpenter's probably next.
Yeah.
I mean, I think. You because we were comparing notes like between Michael Bay and a few others, and they just don't have the credits. And even if they had several good movies back in the day, like everything they've done here recently has completely erased that.
Yeah.
You can't say the same thing. Like John Carpenter can make as many shitty movies right now as he wanted, and he kind of did at the end.
Yeah.
But I think he just didn't give a shit. And it doesn't matter. No matter what people like him do, they've gave us everything we've ever wanted or needed.
Yeah. And I can't say like his newest one. I didn't watch The Ward, so I don't know if it's terrible or not. But I did watch Ghost of Mars, and that was the next newest he did.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he hasn't done anything in about 15 years.
That he did do a really shitty movie.
Yeah. He does a lot. He does a lot of music and stuff now. He does some.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Concerts and
that's
stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he has a lot of music videos out too.
He's an amazing composer.
Yeah,
like he's an amazing artist. Period.
His movies prove that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I don't know. Do you know how many movies has he done that he didn't do the score?
Very few. The one that pops to mind is The Thing. He got Ennio Morricone from the Spaghetti Westerns to do it, who basically just kind of aped John Carpenter.
Yeah,
that supposed to bump.
Yeah,
through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
probably did what he thought he wanted him to do. I mean,
well, Carpenter probably just wanted to work with him because he did spaghetti westerns, and that was Carpenter loves westerns,
and that was his first big budget film.
Well, that's what Carpenter pretty much got in the business for.
Yeah,
you know?
And I agree with him. I love
westerns.
I'm a big western guy too. Yeah. So
well, and you see that in a lot of his movies.
Oh my God, so much.
Just between whether it's between characters or dialogue or just plot. Even in some cases, music.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very Western.
It's very, like, Vampires was very Western.
Well, the desert area and stuff
except it had James Wood, saying the F word every 5 seconds.
I mean, not James Wood can do what he wants, basically.
Assault on Precinct 13 is basically... Oh, what's the Western... Rio Bravo.
Yeah.
It's basically a remake of Rio Bravo. They're holed up in a jail.
Yeah. That's a lot of it. He just kind of like, I mean, look at, in a way, They Live was very similar to that.
Yeah.
There was, it was just in the style
a drifter came to town.
They didn't have much, and he was trying to, and he exposed something. Yep. And I mean, that's in a nutshell similar to that.
Yep.
That's what you see.
Yeah, all of his movies are very Western-y.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
where you've got a protagonist that is like a drifter or a badass of some kind, and they bring down the big guy.
Yeah,
that's what's so great about it.
Which coincidentally, he has worked with Kurt Russell
a bunch,
very many times, and I think Kurt Russell's one of the best new Western actors.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he's one of the best actors. Period.
Yeah, well, obviously.
But before we get too far into it,
and told me so.
Yeah,
have you guys ever listened to any of the commentaries that him?
Oh yeah.
Kurt?
Oh yeah.
I was going to say, if the answer was no, we were going to stop this right now. And
actually, I think we got a list of our top 5 from all 3 of us.
Yeah.
And I want to say an honorable mention for me on the top 5s is every commentary that Carpenter does.
Yeah.
He's amazing at commentary, and he remembers everything.
Yep.
He remembers what a certain actor was drinking that day whenever they were doing this.
It was amazing.
He's got freaky memory.
I was gonna watch the other night. I watched Escape from New York, and I was gonna watch They Live afterwards because that was one of the few that I hadn't seen yet.
Shame on you.
I know, and which I finally watched it last night. But anyway, it was one of those that I was gonna watch They Live afterwards. I'm like, okay, I've got some time. I need to get this shit watched, and I turned on the special features, and then I'm like, oh wow, it's Carpenter and Kurt Russell did a commentary on this movie. And so I end up watching Escape from New York twice that night. One with the commentary at the end, and them together is so amazing.
It's just like two best friends watching a movie, drinking beer, which kind of what
we
they hope you're
out
doing there listening to us right now.
Yeah, exactly. That was what's so great about it. And you really get to know the ins and outs. And I love commentaries for this reason, especially Carpenter's, because he does remember so much. Mm-hmm. But he'll literally tell you that this is a little this was a really ambitious shot. This one was a simple shot. This one was this was New York, And then we got a little camera trick here, and when he goes in the building, it's back in L.A. because we're in L.A. shooting this scene. And then they said this is back in St. Louis, and we're back in L.A. and we're back in St. Louis. And I love the fact that it's shot mostly in St. Louis, like all the outside stuff. And it's shot in St. Louis, and I didn't know that. Yeah, that's so cool. It was like June. He said it was like a June.
Yeah, he said it was like 106 degrees.
It was like 106 degrees and humid.
In St. Louis.
And I guess after the big fires that destroyed a lot of. So he said it was just a perfect setting.
Yep.
And the city let them turn all the lights off and pretty much did whatever they want. And I also during the commentary noticed the train station that they were at, right?
Yeah.
And I got to and he was talking about it and I'm like, that's interesting and not thinking about it, at first, but it was starting to turn. The wheels were starting to turn in my head. And then Kurt Russell mentions, I think the city was talking about converting that into a mall. Yeah. I'm like, that's Union Station.
Yes,
they're in Union Station shooting this, and that's awesome. I've set foot on this ground and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, a couple years ago, my wife wanted to go shopping. They had some kind of outdoor thing there at Christmas time, and I'm like, I am not leaving here without going into that ballroom where they shot the big fight scene with Ox Baker. And, and I felt like a LA tour guide. I was telling my wife, there's the stained glass pictures, in front of the ring, and up here is where, the Duke of New York was at and everything. It was just really cool. What bummed me out was there was nothing commemorating the shooting there.
And there should be. There should be a brick or something.
There really, really, really should be. That's insane to me. Because that's an iconic cult movie.
Yeah.
That, I don't know. I feel very honored to have
I do
as
too.
a part of that. And that's cool for me. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know what they did with the second one. Like that Escape from L.A. was just interesting.
Yeah.
But that was kind of a big FU, I think.
It was. I love L.A.
Yeah, I actually really liked it too.
Yeah.
It's so over the top.
It's ridiculous.
And he did it on purpose. And he has said, he pretty much wanted to say F you to Hollywood in general.
Yeah.
He made, they gave him $300 million to give them the bird. Pretty much.
Yeah. Exactly.
He wanted to prove just how ridiculous they were.
Yeah.
How much did he spend on Escape from New York? Was it like 11 million?
It was $6
million.
It was $6 million.
So he spent $6 million on Escape from New York, and then they gave him $300 million for Escape from LA.
Yeah.
And it was...
Well, that's like he said.
He just wanted to make fun of him.
He said during the commentary. He said he said a couple times, I still don't know how we got this $6 million.
Yeah.
And he said this was such a crazy project. He said I don't know how it ever happened. And he said, and Kurt asked him. He said, hey, how much do you think that'd be now with inflation and everything? He said, oh my God. He said at least be triple or quadruple.
Yeah.
What now?
Yeah.
What we did back then.
And
Isaiah Hayes was awesome in it.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Something cool about that is that Kurt. He designed the outfit, or he came up with the outfit,
the boots,
and he decided to put the eye patch on,
in, yeah.
And then I guess he was regretting it afterwards because he couldn't see
the peripherals
shit.
And stuff. Yeah, it was
he couldn't swing no punches.
Well, it's funny they actually made made a scar on his cheek his cheeks because, or one cheek on the camera side because John's like, we don't want his dimples.
Yeah.
And we don't want somebody looking this mean and tough to have dimples, so we just drew a scar to hopefully hide the dimple a little bit. Of course, he didn't smile much in the movie anyway, just a little grin.
And that's me and Brandon were talking a little while ago about how before Carpenter and Kurt were comrades, I guess you'd say, or cohorts before they got together. Kurt was known as the Disney guy. Yeah. He wasn't a tough guy. He wasn't
the man who wore tennis shoes. Wasn't that
computer?
The computer who wore tennis shoes. Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was the Disney actor, and I've seen Carpenter was talking about him in a commentary that I was listening to, and he said that every studio had wrote Kurt off as just the Disney guy,
right.
And Kurt wanted to get out of it, so he, talked him into making him a badass. And
the studio wanted Tommy Lee Jones or Charles Bronson.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And he talked about how he actually wanted Bronson, but he knew Kurt could do it better.
Yeah. Well, he's younger, and it was about
It would look more like Death Wish 3.
Yeah.
Well, it was around the same time.
Yeah, he said that he really wanted to work with Bronson, but he just didn't think.
Or Death Wish 2, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he thought there might be some studio interference, like he likes his name above the titles and stuff.
Yeah,
and
he really does.
Likes to call the shots. But it's funny, with the dynamic with him and Kurt, he didn't have to call the shots.
Yeah.
They just get along.
Yeah. That's the thing. They just work so well together.
Yeah, everything falls in line.
Everything falls in line.
Well, and they're buddies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they think the same way. Their reviews and political views are the same way. I mean, how do you not?
Yeah.
It's everything about him. And, and to be honest, Kurt Russell's kind of that no one talks about it, but he's a true outlaw of Hollywood.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's a true outlaw. But John's an even bigger outlaw.
Yeah.
He just don't give a shit. I mean, and that's what I think I respect and like about him way more than most people in Hollywood, just because he's willing to say whatever the hell he wants.
Well,
and even though he's a modest guy, he's not, he's going to take the money if you're going to give it to him. Why the hell not?
And then he'll make fun of you for giving him that much
why
money.
hell yeah? Then he's going to tell you how much of an idiot you are.
Yeah. What I respect about him the most is that he has a vision for movies that very, very rare.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't ever see a director that has such a unique vision for movies. You have a lot of them that want to copy each other, no matter how good they are. Even you get some of the best directors in the business, they're still going to copy from somebody else every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And Carpenter, very rare. Like, he gets copied, he doesn't copy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I thought it was really cool during that commentary. They were really just talking back and forth like buddies, and he said, I really wish we could make movies like that back in the old days. He said it was hard. It was a lot of work because you were trying to make the best what you had with what little you had.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was so pure. I mean, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was such a pure thing. Like, look what they brought out of Halloween. Look what they brought out of Escape from New York.
Yeah.
With very little budget.
The Thing.
All of them. Yeah.
Jesus
all of his
Christ.
first few movies.
The practical effects.
So he, him and Kurt Russell both were just like, I wish we could go back to where things were much simpler.
They need to.
Well, they do.
Actually,
too much micromanagement.
I want to say just real quick. This isn't about John, but they were doing The Thing in 2008, or was it 2011? 2011.
Yeah.
And that was, did you follow it at all?
Yeah, I went to the theater and saw it.
Well, I mean, like before, when they were making it.
No.
So I was following it before, because I was a super big The Thing fan for a long time. I mean, I still am, just not near as big as I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I was following the development of this movie, and the studio completely railroaded this. Like, they had every single monster effect in that movie. They had already filmed it with practical effects.
Oh my goodness.
And then the studio stepped in and said, no,
and they look horrible.
It has to be CG.
I mean, I don't mind the movie. I think it's middle of the road.
Yeah.
But like the first scene where you see effects where that guy splits open in the helicopter, it just looks so fake.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that was, I just wanted to say that because I think that movie and the people that made it were just, their souls got crushed because they wanted to make the perfect tribute to Carpenter, and they never got the chance to do it because
half-baked.
Because the studio stepped in and totally ruined it for them.
Yeah.
They took the story, railroaded it. They took the effects, railroaded them. It was just, man, it was and it still wasn't that bad. I mean, it had some pretty good qualities, but I figured I'd say something about it because it needed to be talked about. Nobody talks about how good that movie could have been. Like, it could have been amazing. A precursor to The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
Oh yeah, well,
it is what it is. That's why John Carpenter is the way he is about Hollywood.
Well,
because of studio intervention.
I think he's always been kind of that way, but that just made it. From the very very early on in his career, he's had people try to fuck him. You know what I mean? That's just one of those things when you have people try to screw you over. You're going to get that way, and so he learned pretty early and decided pretty early that he's just gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and this is what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
And that really started with Halloween when when he pushed for 300,000 and then his name above the title, and he got it. And that was awesome.
That was a big deal.
It was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And look what that turned into.
Yeah, exactly.
Even without his help, without his desire probably for it to happen, it turned into a huge franchise. One of the biggest movies of all time. The Fog was another one that I really, really, really liked.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it a lot.
I watched it again the other night too, in kind of preparation for this. It's been a while since I've seen it. But it's I forgot how. I tell you one thing, man. That everything about his movies it's just like it's me. I don't know, like it just resonates with me so much.
Yeah.
And every movie he does, I love the music. The score is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, whether it's subtle or not, it's just so incredible. And The Fog was no different.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminiscent of Halloween a little bit.
It is.
With
There's
added
a lot of
subtleties.
Well, and there's a lot of people from Halloween in that movie.
Yeah.
And then you had Tom Atkins show up, which he was in 3 after.
Yeah, they went straight.
Do you remember the name of Tom Atkins' character in that movie?
It is. Oh shit, I'm bad with names tonight. It's
Nick Castle.
Nick
Yeah,
Castle.
Nick
That's
Castle,
right.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Actually, there's like a whole bunch of the characters are named after his friends.
Yeah, every single actor has a character from that's been named.
I actually wrote him down.
Really?
That's really good.
Buck Flower is Tommy Wallace.
Yes, Tommy Wallace. Yeah.
Charles Cyphers is Dan O'Bannon,
Yep.
the guy who wrote Alien.
Yep.
And Screamers and several other things. But yeah, those were the 3 that I actually thought were funny.
And I didn't watch it, but him and Deborah Hill did the commentary on The Fog, the audio commentary on the
I
Fog.
haven't heard it.
Yeah, and I didn't watch it either, but I caught the end of it.
I know, which I'm not that big of a fan of The Fog as you guys are, but I have watched some stuff on it, and I guess it was a really hard set to be on because I guess they just split, and he just got married to
Adrian Barboobs.
Yeah,
Barboobs.
And
Adrian
so
Barbeau.
I guess
Woo.
We salute you, ma'am.
So I guess everybody
What a great
on
voice.
the
What a great voice.
What a great voice.
yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
But
Chris.
But I guess everybody on the set was like really weird.
Really?
Because they were all friends from Halloween.
Yeah.
And then now they're on the set with their friends that just got divorced, and then the one friend just got remarried to one of the actresses.
Weird. But you know that but after that they were fine. They went on. You know,
yeah.
Deborah Hill and him were huge friends, like really good friends after that. 'Cause
I thought Adrian was pretty sexy in this one with the smoker's voice over the
man,
yeah.
it wasn't even that
over
bad.
the radio.
She was super sexy in this movie.
Yeah, and in Escape from New York, she kind of had the '80s fro going on. Here, she didn't.
See, I like the '70s Farrah Fawcett style hair better on a lot of them anyway. So like her hair in this one was better.
Oh yeah,
but her outfit in Escape was much better.
I actually thought Jamie Lee was way sexier in the Fog than she was.
Well, that's because she was kind of a hoa.
Well, I don't even mean it like that. I think she just looked different.
Well, you know, I think they could have cast just about anybody in that role. She was kind of bland and not all that.
Yeah, I mean, she was a little bit bland. I mean, she didn't have much dialogue in it, and she was just kind of she's just the hitchhiker that was just in town.
Yeah, that sleeps with a stranger on the first night.
Yeah.
She did scream though.
I mean, she did scream a little bit.
She did scream a little bit. So.
Yeah, she was a scream queen after all.
Yeah, the scream queen.
The scream queen. But I mean, it didn't take very much longer for her to get out of that role. But you know, there for the first few, she did several movies, and I mean, why not? You know, Jamie Lee Curtis, John Carpenter, might as well put her in there.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
What do we want to talk about now? Talked about The Fog a little bit.
Yeah. How did you feel about the ghost revenge thing on The Fog?
Well, that's kind of where I didn't like the movie so much.
I kind of like that old because that's, you know, it's like with Carpenter, he has like a theme for everything. He's only got one good movie of a certain type, like a certain genre. You know, with a horror, he's got a slasher, he's got a ghost, he's got like his own future version of a western. Yeah. He's got, you know, post-apocalyptic style almost, and then he's got a vampire movie. You know, he's just got so many different. He's usually got one or two of each.
Yeah,
that's what.
And
he's got his own spin on them.
I'm not that big of a fan of ghost stuff. I'm more of a like physical.
I thought it was a little. It's not like something cool is coming out of the fog, but it was still pretty cool. Like at the same time, that something was killing people. Yeah. Something was coming out of the fog and killing people, and they were just old pirates. But still,
I had no problem with it. And that last scene, you know, where they're just standing there in the church and just kind of ominous.
Yeah, and he was the sixth, and they finally did get him. Yeah, they did come back and get him. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was awesome. I got something, Assault on Precinct 13. Yeah.
There was something really cool about that was, George A. Romero said that he really, really loved that movie. And he really loved that, the gang members all were like zombies. And that he would, he used that movie to help him direct some of his later movies.
Yeah.
You know, he just took ideas from that movie. And then Carpenter was being interviewed by a lady, and she told him that, and he said, well, Romero just recognized his own greatness because I completely stole those scenes with the gang members from George A. Romero's zombie movies. Yeah. He's like, I just completely stole that. So
he's not afraid to admit it. I just
stole it. It was funny because he was just straight up like, oh yeah, well he just recognized his own greatness because I completely stole him.
He must have really loved the guy because in Escape from New York, he named one of the little guys Romero.
Yeah.
Creepy little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, and
did you notice?
I've seen him in several different interviews talk about how great Romero was.
Yeah, and you notice, and we'll talk about They Live probably a little bit later, but did you notice how like all the aliens in that look very zombie-ish?
Oh yeah,
like old school Romero-ish, and not like alien-ish.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
Because it almost seemed like it was like a Stephen King film, but it was Carpenter's spin, and it was better. It was a better spin on a Stephen King story or something. Yeah. Speaking of Stephen King, Christine, he did Christine.
Yeah, and
we did talk about that a little bit on our Stephen King podcast, but just in case somebody didn't see that one or hear that one,
I don't have that much to say about Christine, other than, and I know this is a loaded statement, like very loaded, but I really do think that Christine is probably his best score work.
It's really good.
I do think that.
Yeah, I don't.
It like that movie was like 80% score.
I know. Well, look at Halloween.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Halloween had a lot to do with the score too.
But yeah, think of how scary it was after the score was put in.
Well, Christine was scary as shit back in the day.
Look at Escape. I was thinking about that this morning. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yep.
It's just totally fucking good.
Even the scenes where they're like hitting cowbell. Just sounds good.
Just everything sounds so good in his
movies,
and
you can tell that he has a real passion for the music.
Oh yeah. Well, he understands that's the vibe. You know what I mean? That's exactly what makes your movie.
Yep.
I mean, that's everything. Your music is everything. To me, I believe that's what he thinks, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know Carpenter. That motherfucker's crazy as shit.
Yeah.
He don't care.
Yeah, he don't care.
Our Stephen King podcast was our first one, and several of those movies I hadn't seen in years. I've seen Christine pretty recently, and it's pretty good. It made it into my top 10. I've got a top 10 list.
Really?
It's near the bottom, but it's in my top 10.
Really, yeah. Just because of the score? Or?
The score. It's just a good, solid movie about really possession when you think about it. He just becomes possessed by that thing. The one thing that cracked me up after going back and rewatching it is the greaser guy with the big hair that pulls the switchblade on him in shop class or whatever. There is no way he's a teenage kid.
Yeah.
They got like a 30-year-old guy to play that.
Yeah, he's older than me.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
I did think there's like, am I the only one that thinks that it's weird that he has like the what does he call them? The Apocalypse movies?
Apocalypse trilogy.
Yeah, the Apocalypse trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really understand
how they go together.
I
really don't either. But that may be the video games and the marijuana talk.
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. Because, like, I wanted to talk about that, but I didn't know how to bring it up because I don't know how they fit together. And I watched.
They're all kind of about the end of the world.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah,
maybe that's.
I don't know. Yeah, and they were all decent. Which I have to admit I haven't watched all of Prince of Darkness.
It's very underappreciated.
Yeah.
But I did watch In the Mouth of Madness for the first time for this show. It was pretty good. It was really different for Sam Neill.
Yeah, playing a crazy guy.
The idea behind it is genius.
Yeah.
It was even executed pretty good too. So I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was neat.
Yeah.
I really like the covers to the books.
The Sutter Kane.
Yeah.
Do you read Sutter Kane?
Yeah. They were like super creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like it. And then obviously, the best of his Apocalypse trilogy.
We're talking The Thing.
Man,
we're going there.
Okay. And I know I'm kind of skipping around. I'm sorry. I am because I'm so excited. I'm so excited to talk about a lot of these that I'm just gonna start skipping around.
I'm worn out from excitement. I don't know.
I kind of am.
I'm so excited.
I have a real problem showing excitement.
Yeah.
But I really am excited. Okay, so the thing the thing about The Thing is that I regarded for probably 15, probably almost 20 years of my life, I regarded The Thing as the best scary movie that's ever been made in mankind's history.
Oh.
And it has been, my views have changed a lot. I still regard it very, very highly.
Yeah.
But it's not as high as it used to be. I don't know what changed in me, but
it happens.
It's all me, and I know it is. You know, like I used to love Space Jam too, but I can't just sit down and watch Space Jam.
Greatest movie of all time.
You know what
now
I mean?
Hold a second. Like, I could probably watch Space Jam.
Well, I could sit down and watch Space Jam. I
love me
right
some Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now I love Alien, and I will say this to me is more claustrophobic.
Oh, absolutely.
Than Alien.
Absolutely.
I think it has to do with in the original Thing from Another World. I own it. I've watched it once. There was like at least one, maybe more females in the cast. This is an all-male cast.
Yeah.
They're all, they've all got their temperaments, but they're all kind of, just a stoic male type figures. But there's no horned-in love interest.
Yep.
I mean, they're all there for the same reason.
Yep.
Pretty much.
I think, man, the story of The Thing is one of the scariest things.
How you can be taken over.
Yeah.
And nobody knows.
Yeah.
Not even know it.
Okay, so, Alien, you brought up Alien. Alien is a really good comparison to The Thing.
Yeah.
Because Alien takes over a person's body too, or they're a host. They're a parasite. Yeah. They're a parasite. Where The Thing takes over a body. But the scary thing about The Thing is like you don't know. No one knows.
Yeah, there's no signs.
There is zero signs. Where with Alien, there are signs. You can tell. And obviously, they bust out of your chest whenever they're ready and incubated. But the Thing just, like, all white is much scarier than all black.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Dude, the snow is scary. The cold is scary.
Where are you going to go?
Exactly, where are you going to go?
Every single thing is terrifying, and it doesn't have to be scary. That's where most new movies fuck up.
Yeah. This movie was totally overlooked when it came out. It came out in the summer of 82, which I want to do a podcast on the summer of 82 movies.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
That's like the biggest summer ever.
Yeah.
Totally eclipsed by E.T. People were going back to the theater to see E.T. 3 and 4 times and not giving things like this and Blade Runner and you can name off a half a dozen a chance.
Oh, yeah.
And totally tanked.
Yep.
But how you gonna hate a movie where Wilford Brimley gets assimilated by one of these things, and it has an act saying, "I'll kill you."
Yeah.
You gotta love that.
Yeah.
And he's got diabetes.
He's got he knows how to get rid of that diabetes.
The diabetes didn't kill him in this, or the Quaker oatmeal.
Yeah.
I don't understand how anybody, just, this is off subject a little bit, but how in the fuck can anybody watch E.T. more than 3 times?
Oh man, I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm kind of ashamed to say it was the first movie I ever saw in theaters, but I had...
Well, you don't have to be ashamed for that. I just mean, like, how could you watch it multiple times in
how
theaters?
How old were you?
I was
like 8?
I was 3 when it came out.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say,
and my mom went with my aunt, and I went along, and I remember just being the scenes in the woods just scared out of my mind.
So that would have been the same for me and like Lion King, because I remember going to that when I was like 5.
Yeah.
And I don't remember anything about it.
I don't remember my first movie. I don't think I remember my first theater movie.
I don't think The Lion King was even my first one.
Well, I know that Dennis the Menace was one of them. I know that.
Man, that's terrible. I feel bad for you now.
Some kind of penguin.
That explains a lot. That explains a lot.
Just imagine how cool we all would have been if
hey, that's Christopher Lloyd, asshole.
if our first movie would have been The Thing.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
There's some kind of.
I'd have been even more messed up than I am now.
Some damn cartoon penguin movie. We went and watched that on like a school field trip or something.
Oh my god! I remember that
what
movie.
What was the damn movie's name? Though?
Oh my god! I don't know.
It was. I keep wanting to say Mr. Popper's Penguin. That's not it at all.
Oh no, that's
that
not
Carrey
even
movie.
close.
It's got penguins in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember what it is though.
I'm gonna look it up.
And
anyway,
they got the sharks get after them.
Something like that. Shit, I don't know. It's like
anyway, back to John Carpenter.
Yeah. Fuck these penguins.
I really like the blood test scene.
I do too.
Movie.
I do. I love every scene. Every scene with Kurt. Like, he really, really, really just...
The pebble in the penguin.
Yeah, the pebble in the penguin. There you go.
He was killing him.
I told you I had to look at it. I was bothering the shit out of me.
Like,
you know what else come out in Batman? And Batman Returns come out in 92. Oh, you're talking about 82. 92. Well, 92 Batman
that
Returns
movie came out.
FYI.
Yeah.
No, Pebble and the Penguin come out in 95.
Oh, okay. Anyway, the Thing...
I'm tired.
In The Thing, Kurt, like, he showed exactly what he can do.
Right.
He proved... When he did The Thing, he proved that he could do literally every single role imaginable. He can do lighthearted. He can do comedy. He can do an almost biopic. He could do action. He can do horror.
I don't think I would have liked Overboard if it wasn't for him and Goldie Hawn.
Well, no.
I still think I could have. Overboard was awesome.
It was awesome because it had Kurt
Russell
and Goldie.
Yeah.
Anyway. And I honestly, if you're still listening to us and you cannot tell, I can't wait till we do a Kurt Russell fucking podcast because he is my favorite actor.
It might as well just count as this because
it's
the same fucking thing.
It will be. It probably will be
the same thing. He's in some of our favorite movies.
Yes. Moving on from The Thing.
We've talked about some good ones. Let's talk about a bad.
Oh my God, a bad one?
Okay.
I got one for you, and you might disagree with me. Village of the Damned.
I can't add a lot to this one. So.
I watched this when I was pretty young because my mom and dad bought it just because it was Christopher Reeve's last movie.
Mm-hmm. I like Christopher Reeve.
It's got a big cast. Christopher Reeve, Sam Neill,
Kirstie
Alley. Oh my God! Before she got like 500 pounds,
Scientologist,
and then lost it 3 times and gained it back.
Kids kind of look like Scientologists. In
oh
this
my
movie.
God, dude! And the kids. Oh, man, I hate those fucking kids. I hate those kids. I hate the kids from Children of the Corn.
He hates British people.
I hate British people.
Gonna get booped on the head.
God damn. You know what? What I don't understand. Okay, I know these kids, they're psychic, they're whatever. They can like their mom, the one with the mom that, like, that's the famous first scene is the girl makes her mom stick her arm in the pot of boiling water, and she like holds it and she's standing there screaming. Anyway, I don't. Have you watched it?
No,
you haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's one of the couple that I haven't seen.
It is scary. It is scary. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a remake. I think the first one was like 1960.
Yeah,
it was
probably.
black and white.
Right?
Yeah, I know it's black and white.
But it's really weird. Like the whole town. Excuse me. The whole town passes out. Like they all go to sleep. And then whenever they wake up, some people died because they fell asleep while they were driving or doing something, and so they died and whatever. But then, the whole town wakes back up, and then a whole bunch of women turn up pregnant, and I don't know. They're just, whenever they, 9 months later, whenever they have the kid, when all these women have the kids, they're all come out like albino, and they all can control people to kill themselves. And
that sounds like one of the weaker ones.
It's very dumb.
How's Christopher Reeve in it?
Strong. He's the lead, like he's the guy that's gonna fix it all. He's like a scientist,
yeah,
or a doctor anyway. And it's been a long time since I watched it, so I don't remember a whole lot about it. But
check it out.
I remember Sam Neill,
just because of Christopher Reeve.
Spoiler alert! I remember Sam Neill he had a hunting rifle, and he was gonna shoot one of the little girls. He was gonna shoot her in the head, and he was looking through the scope, all shaking and stuff, and he was just getting ready to do it, and then all of a sudden this whole row of those kids come out from the woods and stare at him, and he looks up, he feels them looking at him, and so he turns around and looks, and then he just takes the gun and just blows his head off.
Damn.
Yeah, I definitely need to. I don't know why I haven't watched this.
It's weird. It's really creepy. It is pretty weak compared to his other movies, but it is still you need to watch it just to see, it was Christopher Reeve's last movie.
Right, that's what
you kind of need to watch it.
I need to watch it just because it was Christopher Reeve's last movie. I'm surprised I haven't seen it already.
He was good. Sam Neill wasn't that great. He's been much better in other stuff. Hell, he was way better in The Mouth of Madness.
Yeah. He'll always be.
Oh God, I got another bad one.
Dr. Grant.
I got another bad one.
Hit us with it.
Memoirs of an Invisible Man.
Chevy Chase.
It was bad. It was bad. It was like Chevy Chase just wanted to not do a comedy, and so he asked Carpenter to make a movie for him, pretty much. And it was bad.
There was like a 4-year gap between They Live and that. I'm not sure what Carpenter was doing, but
smoking a lot of weed. That's about it.
What was They Live was in '88 though.
Yeah.
What was this one? This is
92.
Yeah. Was it 92? I thought it was 90.
Yeah, it was newer. Chevy was getting a little too old to be trying something new.
Yeah.
I think anyway.
Well, I thought that with Vegas Vacation too. He was almost a hair too old to be in Vegas Vacation, but it worked out.
I always thought he was an idiot. He was chasing Christy Brinkley in her car, and he had one hot, curvy mama.
I know,
right?
The
entire time.
I know, right?
It's like, go eat a sandwich.
Was it European Vacation that she was naked? That she got naked?
No, that was the first vacation.
Was it?
European Vacations on the video? Ba-boom.
Yeah.
No, it's the beginning of the first one for Beverly
D'Angelo.
God dang, man.
In the first vacation, Beverly D'Angelo.
That's a woman. Yes. That and Adrienne Barbeau.
Yes.
And Barbeau.
Yeah.
Salute you both.
No, but Memoirs of an Invisible Man was stupid. I never watched all of it. That was another one that my mom and dad owned that I never watched. Like, I watched, I don't know, probably 30 minutes of it and then was like, ugh, this is boring. Like, I would much rather be doing anything than
sticking my hand in a pot of boiling.
Exactly.
We got time for about one more.
Oh God, one more what?
One more movie.
I've never.
We're gonna do another part. We're gonna do another part.
Here's another one.
We have to do another part.
Here's one that I've never watched. Starman.
Oh my gosh, I can talk about Starman.
Can you really?
Tell us about Starman.
Can you really?
Starman. I wish I could put it in my top 5. It's right
really?
outside my top 5.
Wow.
Yeah,
but
good.
you're a pretty big fan of
Jeff Bridges. And
though.
Karen Allen.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent about Jeff Bridges.
I always figured that he could pull it off, but I never watched it to find out if he
Jeff
could.
Bridges in this, I've heard an interview, he said he was playing a bird. Like, everything he does is jittery, like he's trying to figure out how to use this body. But like the first scene, have you guys seen it in a while?
No, I've never watched it.
Oh, okay. Well,
I've only watched clips of it.
We basically send the Voyager out into space with like a capsule, and it's like got a universal greeting in 54 different languages, and whatever race of alien he is sends him.
Yeah.
And of course, our assholes shoot it out of the sky.
Yeah.
And he comes out as a ball of light, and Karen Allen is a recent widow, and she's drinking herself into a stupor. All of a sudden, this ball of light comes through her house and starts going through her photo albums, flipping, and there's like a hair follicle in one of them, and he becomes her husband.
Yeah.
Her dead husband. And there's a creepy... Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. There's a creepy scene in the beginning where he's assimilating as a little baby into adolescence and becomes an adult man. It's 80s kind of low budget. It's really creepy looking.
Yeah.
This was beforehand, right? This was before Halloween, wasn't it?
No. This is 84.
Yeah.
This is after the thing in
What was the one he did right before Halloween?
That was
Assault.
His first movie was Star.
I thought it was Starman.
Dark Star.
Dark Star. Okay.
Dan O'Bannon's in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, it was a space comedy.
Okay.
Something.
But this one, she doesn't know what he is, and she's trying to. He's taking her across country. He's telling her, "I got to get to Arizona," and anyway, she tries to ditch him several times.
Yeah,
and like there's a scene where they're at a restaurant, and Ted White, who played Jason in Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th Part 4, the running Jason that we all hate.
Yeah.
He's got a dead deer that he's killed across the hood of his car. Like, hey, look at me! And Jeff Bridges brings it back to life. And he's like, hey, and comes running out of there. And I didn't realize it till the last time I watched it. Oh my gosh, that's Ted White.
Huh.
But there's some really good scenes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. It's one of his more underappreciated ones, but the ones who like it hold it way up. Like,
really? See, I've never watched it.
It's very.
And good. I knew what the story was, and I never watched it because I thought, I don't know. I just thought it would be really weird because he came back as her husband, her dead husband. Like that's really weird.
Yeah, but it works.
Does it?
And how cool is a movie where the last scene has, them embracing and there's an alien ship hovering overhead and like hundreds of military ready to shoot and fire and they're kind of embracing it. It's in your store. You guys need to watch it.
I do have it. I knew that. I just haven't watched it yet.
I don't own it, but I meant to rent it one day. Oh, he's got Starman.
Yeah, I need to watch it now.
Yeah, it's really good.
I can't believe I don't have that list.
It's number 6 on my list.
Is it really?
Wow.
6. Wow.
Well, you'd probably, if you heard my number 6, you'd probably go, wow.
Speaking of that, we have got to end this episode.
Boo.
We are out of time.
And then
however,
the next one we will give our top 5.
Yes, I was going to say that we are going to do a part 2 of John Carpenter because there's still way more to discuss.
Yeah. We got some more bad ones to go through.
We got a couple bad ones, but we've got the big ones, man. We've got
good ones left.
We've got a lot of good ones. We got Halloween. We've got Big Trouble Little China. We got all kinds of stuff coming. So
they live.
They live. Yes, excellent. So we will pick this up.
And this gum's just about done.
Yeah, he's about out of bubble gum. So we will see you in part 2.